They smirked as she sat down at the chessboard, simple, quiet, unassuming. Some thought it would be a quick, humiliating display of their superior intellect. But the moment her fingers touched the first piece, a silence fell over the room. Nobody realized that the simple woman they mocked could outthink them all, and change the course of everything in a single move. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Tales and Turns. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We love seeing our viewers from all corners of the world. Your support means everything. She entered the grand hall with a soft smile, holding a delicate cup of tea as though the room's grandeur meant nothing to her. The chandelier sparkled above, reflecting the whispers of the elite crowd who had gathered to watch her, that simple woman, be humiliated. Their eyes were sharp, their smirks easy, their expectations clear. She would fail. She knew none of their faces personally, but she understood the rhythm of their arrogance, the confidence that comes from underestimating someone. When they asked her to sit at the chessboard, a few people nudged one another, trying to hide their laughter. A young man in a tailored suit leaned over to whisper, "I hope she's fast, it would be embarrassing otherwise." She didn't respond. She only nodded politely and sat down, her back straight, hands resting lightly on her lap. There was no sign of fear, no hint of hesitation. The calm in her demeanor was almost unsettling. The first piece she touched, a pawn, moved gracefully across the polished board. Eyes widened. A hush swept through the crowd. They had expected clumsiness, uncertainty, maybe even a desperate plea for guidance. Instead, they saw precision, purpose, and confidence in every gesture. She wasn't playing a game, she was orchestrating a revelation. Every move was calculated, deliberate, and impossible to misread as ordinary. They tried to undermine her. Quick, mocking commentary floated from the corners of the hall. "She'll be out in 3 moves, one whispered, barely containing laughter. Another offered advice with a condescending smile. But their words bounced off her, as if she were untouched by ridicule. She listened, observed, and responded with a quiet intelligence that made their mockery feel hollow, weak, and insignificant. The room's energy shifted with each piece she moved. Pawns, knights, bishops, they fell into her strategy, forming patterns that the audience could barely anticipate. It was as if she were seeing 10 moves ahead, calculating consequences and outcomes that no one else could even imagine. Gasps replaced laughter as spectators began to realize the depth of her understanding. Their confidence eroded with every calculated attack she made. Her opponent, a self-proclaimed chess prodigy, furrowed his brow in frustration. His arrogance had been the foundation of his strategy, but her unexpected brilliance destabilized it entirely. She offered no gloating, no overconfidence. Her expression remained serene, almost distant, as if she were playing in a world apart from their judgment and expectations. The beauty of her composure was matched only by the clarity of her intellect. By the mid-game, the elite spectators who had scoffed moments earlier were now leaning forward, captivated, some whispering in disbelief. Every calculated move she made forced the room to recognize a truth they had been blind to: intelligence and grace can hide behind the simplest of appearances. Their laughter, so loud before, had been replaced by a profound silence, tinged with awe and respect. The final move was swift, decisive, and elegant. The opponent's king toppled, signaling defeat. A stunned quiet followed, broken only by the woman's gentle sigh, as if she had merely finished a routine task. Some guests tried to recover, offering hesitant applause, their faces a mix of embarrassment and newfound respect. The humiliation they had intended for her had turned back upon themselves, and it was impossible to ignore the lesson she had imparted without words. Her husband, who had been watching silently from the back of the room, smiled faintly. He had known her brilliance all along, and yet he shared in the satisfaction of seeing the world finally recognize it. There was no arrogance in their victory, only a quiet pride in her ability to demonstrate strength, intelligence, and dignity in the face of mockery. They left the hall together, hand in hand, a symbol of calm power and understated mastery. By the evening's end, the story of that simple woman and her unparalleled chess victory spread far beyond the grand hall. It became a tale of inspiration, a lesson about never underestimating those who seem ordinary, and a reminder that true strength often comes wrapped in quiet, unassuming brilliance. The crowd had entered expecting a spectacle of ridicule, but they left having witnessed a masterclass in intelligence, grace, and the transformative power of calm confidence.